Hello and welcome to Stock Market Math. My name is Paul, and I have a really fun question for you today. Do you remember getting an allowance? I do. My brothers and I were pretty young, maybe 6 years old. My twin and I were like 6 years old. And we got pulled into the living room, and my dad sat us down and said that he was going to start paying us an allowance. It was 50 cents a week, and he was going to pay us every other week. So every 2 weeks, we would go up to my dad, and I think it was the day it corresponded to when he got paid. And we'd say, Dad, can we have our allowance? And he would pull out this big billfold that men of that time used to carry. And he'd pull out three $1 bills, and he'd hand one to each of us. And it was fun. It was fun to get the money. And even back then, $1 was not a lot of money. But it meant that we had the freedom to do something fun with it. So we would often go down to the corner store, and it's sort of what the equivalent is Dollar General today. You could go in and they had a lot of candy or little sugary drinks or just fun toys and trinkets that you could buy for a quarter or 10 cents. And you could get a hoard of stuff and go up to the counter and drop it on the counter and hand her your $1 bill and get a couple of pennies back and change and go home with all of this fun stuff. Now, by the time we got home, we'd eaten all the candy and drunk everything that we had to drink, but it was still fun, and it was still an opportunity to be able to do something that we wanted to because we had our own free money. As we got older, we would get jobs, we would earn more money, but we had more bills, car payments, insurance, gas, things like that. And then eventually you go to college, you graduate from college, you have more and more bills, and we sometimes lose that simplicity of just having free money to do something fun, do whatever we want to do. So I had an idea today. I've come up with 3 different activities that are just fun things that I would like to do personally. And I figured out 3 different investments that we're going to look at to figure out how much we would have to invest in order to get paid dividends to be able to do these different activities for the rest of our life with never having to put another dime into the investments. I think it'll be fun. I hope you like it too. Now, for our first fun activity, let's assume that you're a big movie fan and you love to go see whatever the latest and greatest new movie is every single month. Maybe you don't want to go by yourself. Maybe you want to take a friend and be able to treat them. And of course, you'll want to get a drink and some popcorn. To help figure out how much you'd have to earn in dividends every single month to make that happen, I went to my local NCG movie theater and found out that one movie ticket is $11.50 for a non-matinee movie. 2 tickets come to $23. A large drink is $7. A large popcorn is $9. Tax comes to $2.73, bringing us a total of $42.73. Now, to make the math a little bit easier, I went ahead and rounded us up to $43 total that we'd have to make in dividends to be able to do this every single month. All right, let's assume that going to see a movie isn't your thing, but instead you want to be the best dressed person to walk in any room that you go into. I've gone to Lululemon's website, and we're going to take a look to see how much clothes cost here. A pair of shorts for men look like they run $70, $80, $80, $70, $70. It looks like between $70 and $80 for a pair of shorts. If we want to get something a little nicer for the office, and we need to buy a button-down shirt, that will run you $120, $130, $120, $90, $100. It looks like there's a little bit more variation here, but let's say between, say, $80 and $130. Now, suppose that you need to wear a nice pair of pants to go with that button-up shirt. Let's see how much that costs. Trousers. Excuse me, that's stock market cat going nuts over there. A pair of trousers are going to cost $150, $130. Yeah, these seem a bit more consistent, about $130 to $150. Now, obviously, you're not going to need to buy a new shirt, new shorts, and new pair of pants every single month. Let's go ahead and assume that in order to keep your wardrobe fresh and up to date, you're going to be spending about $250 every single month. Now, suppose you really like to take things big. You're not interested in buying new clothes. You're not interested in going to see a movie. What you want to know is how much do you have to invest to be able to pay for a new car every 5 years with the dividends that you earn? Well, of course, that's going to vary a lot depending on what type of vehicle you're interested in buying. I'm at the Toyota website because I like Toyotas. And you can see that you could buy a new Crown, which is their full-size sedan, for a little under $40,000. Or if you're a person that prefers a sports car, you can buy a GR Corolla for a little under $36,000. If you wanted to get something cheaper, you could get a Camry Hybrid for $28,900. If Toyota isn't your deal, maybe you're interested in buying a Jeep. If we look at Jeeps, the new Wrangler Wagoneer is $61,000, which is of course a lot. The Grand Cherokee is about $40,000. The Compass is $28,000, and the Wrangler is almost $32,000. Again, a lot of variation, but it depends upon what kind of vehicle you want to buy. For the sake of our calculations, I've gone to an auto calculator and figured that we would be purchasing a $40,000 car and we would be financing it for 6 months. Now, interest rates are high right now, but they won't always be that high, so I've just picked something that's sort of middle of the road at 5%. I'm assuming that you're going to trade in your previous vehicle for $15,000. You live in Georgia. Sales tax is $6.6%, and you will have closing fees with the dealership of $2,060. If we hit calculate, we can see that our total payment comes to $471.78. Now, let's just go ahead and round that up to $500 to make it a little bit simpler. Now that we've had a chance to look at 3 different fun activities, let's take a look at some different investments that we can make to help generate the free cash that we would need to be able to do these fun activities. I've pulled up the Schwab US Dividend ETF, and the reason I picked this is because there's got a lot of great things going for it. If we look at the holdings on Seeking Alpha, we can see that it has investments in 10 out of the 11 sectors. It is divided up into 104 different investments, with the largest investment at 4.5% of the total investment. So highly diversified, which is a great thing. But the reason most people buy this particular ETF is for the dividend. Seeking Alpha gives it an A+ on its dividend score, and we can see that the 3-year, 5-year, and 10-year growth rate are all over 11%, which is absolutely fantastic. The yield on the trailing 12 months is 3.53%, which corresponds to a 66 cents per share per quarter dividend. Let's pull out our handy dandy Windows calculator and figure out how much we'd have to buy. Now, if we wanted to get $43 per month, we would divide that by a 22-cent payout, meaning we'd need 195.45 shares. Multiplying that by the share price of $73.43, we would have to make an initial investment of just over $14,000. Stepping up to our goal of $250 a month, we would divide that by 22 cents per share, and it means we'd have to have 1,136 shares. Multiplying by the $73.43 share price means in order to get $250 a month in dividends, you'd have to have an initial investment of $83,443. Moving on to the big dream, a $500 a month car payment divided by 22 cents per share means that you'd have to have 2,273 shares in order to make the car payment. Multiplying that by our share price of $73.43 means that you'd have to have an initial investment of $167,000 to be able to get $500 a month in car payment. Now, that's a lot of money, and I know it is, but wouldn't it be fantastic to be able to receive a $500 a month or $1,500 every 3 months to be able to make a car payment and never have to worry about a car payment for the rest of your life? It's a fantastic dream to have. All right, let's move on to our next investment. Now, the second investment we're going to take a look at is Realty Income Corporation, ticker symbol O. Now, you can see that O has absolutely been devastated over the last year. It's down 15.6%, which is not good in anybody's book if you happen to already own Realty Income. If you're a new investor or new to Realty Income, this is a fantastic time to buy because it is absolutely on sale. Let's take a look at the dividends. Realty Income has a dividend growth rate. The 3-year CAGR, 5-year, and 10-year of around 4%, which isn't near as good as the Schwab dividend ETF. However, if we look at the dividend scorecard, we can see that it has a dividend yield of 5.72%, which corresponds to 26 cents per month. Realty Income is sometimes called the monthly dividend. If we pull out our Windows calculator, we can see that $43 a month for the movie tickets divided by 26 cents per share means that we'll need 165 1/3 shares. Multiply that by the $54 share price means that a $9,000 investment will get you $43 a month. If we step it up to $250, divide that by the 26-cent payout, we need 962 shares. Multiplying that times the share price means that we'd have to have an initial investment of just under $52,000. Stepping all the way up to the $500 car payment, dividing that by the 26 cents per share, multiplying that times the $54 share price means an investment of just under $104,000 to be able to get a $500 car payment for the rest of your life, which sounds fantastic. Of course, the difficult part is getting the $104,000 in the first place, but it's something you can work up to, and I think it would be a lot of fun. Let's move on to our third company. Now, the third and final investment we're going to look at is BlackRock TCP Capital Corporation. The reason I picked this particular company is because they're kind of the opposite of Schwab. They have a very high dividend yield of 11.24%, which corresponds to 34 cents per share per quarter on a $12.15 stock price. Now, the bad news is if we look at the dividend growth, the 3-year, 5-year, and 10-year CAGR are all negative, which is not good. The dividend is consistently going down over time. And if we look at the stock price, we can see that it has lost about 0.75% over the year. However, if we look at the 10-year, we can see that it's down almost 24%. Now, the thing that's important to keep in mind is that the people who run this corporation are not setting out to lose money. They're working their best to make this company as profitable as they can. However, it's been struggling for about 10 years. If we look at the rating summary, we can see that Seeking Alpha, Wall Street, and Quant, I'm not sure how to say that, all give either a buy or a strong buy, which means that they believe that this company has the potential to become profitable and become a good investment at this time. So, buyer beware. It hasn't done well in the past. It pays a great dividend, but the dividend growth rate is negative and the stock has been dropping in price. Now, let's do the math. We pull up our Windows calculator and we see that it pays a dividend of 34 cents per share per quarter. Dividing that by 3 means we'll get 11.333 cents per quarter. Now, if we want to get $43 for movies divided by 0.113333 means that we'll have to have an initial investment of 380 shares multiplied by the 12.15 share price means an initial investment of just over $4,600 will get you a monthly dividend of $43. Moving up to $250 to get some swanky looking clothes. We're going to divide that by 11.3333. 2,205 shares multiplied by $12.15 share price means an initial investment of $26,800 will get you $250 a month in dividends. Now, if we go to the big goal of $500 car payment per month, divide that by our 11.3333, gives us initial investment of 4,412 shares multiplied by 12.15 gives us a total investment of $53,600, significantly less than the other companies. Now let's take a look at the summary of all three investments. What you have on your screen is a summary of all of the different investments. We can see that Schwab has the lowest dividend yield, but the highest 10-year growth rate. If we wanted to invest with Schwab, we can see that the amount we'd have to invest in order to get our desired payouts is going to be the highest. Realty Income, on the other hand, has a higher dividend yield, but a lower 10-year growth rate, and that higher dividend yield will correspond to less initial investment required in order to make our desired income. BlackRock, on the other hand, has a significantly higher dividend yield. However, it has a negative 10-year dividend growth rate. That high dividend yield means that we require much less money in an initial investment to receive the monthly dividends that we desire. Now, to put that in perspective, I ran this through a drip calculator. What a drip calculator did is it took a $10,000 initial investment 10 years ago, and it assumed you sold it after exactly 10 years, and you didn't reinvest the dividends, but you kept the dividends. So the number below is the total value of what you got from stock price appreciation plus dividend payout. And you can see that taking this into account, Schwab is a much better investment than BlackRock, even though BlackRock has this fantastic dividend yield. Anyway, let me know what you would invest in if you had the money. Leave a comment below, and remember, keep investing.